It's been a while since we last talked, hasn't it? I just wanted to give you guys an update. Tell you the reason that I haven't been updating very much. I was fully intending to update at least once a week, trying to go for at least twice, but that didn't exactly work out. You see, I've had some things going on with my life. A lot has been happening, and I'm gonna be really honest. A lot of the time that I wasn't updating, I was taking just personal time off. I needed to have some time not to worry about anything like this. Try only to worry about what I had to, which was a lot. So I took a break to give myself some time to deal with these problems that I've been facing. However, I haven't forgotten you guys. I am still very much here, very much alive. Maybe not so much mentally as physically, but I'm alive. I have been having a bit of a hard time lately. Some things happened in my life recently that I'd go as far as to say were maybe even traumatic for me, so it's been a lot to cope with, and my whole life kind of got a bit flipped upside down. Nothing is the same as it was before this happened. Like, literally almost no aspects of my life are the same. Everything pretty much got changed and mixed up. It's been a lot to deal with. I hope you guys don't mind. I just wanted to talk about this just a little bit to let you guys kind of understand why I haven't been around so much. I had to move, and there was no pre-planning at all. Not even a little bit. Like, I was woken up at 8 a.m. and I had to get up right then, and then I basically just ended up sitting around for a few hours, apart from answering some questions that were a little tough to answer. I mean, they weren't easy enough to answer, but it was kind of scary. And then immediately after, I was basically flat out told that I'd have to move, and I got in, packed up my stuff, and left, and I have been living with my some family, actually, which is another reason why I can't necessarily update that often. I don't really have the room to myself that often, so it's often noisy and I can't really whisper. I am going to try to find times to record. I was going to say I could record at night, but that's actually when the most people are here, and they're trying to sleep, so I can't wake them up on accident with my whispering. I find it funny that the reason that I can't whisper, which helps people sleep, is because I have to let people sleep. It seems a bit ironic, don't you think? Anyway, I guess I'm just going to talk about some other stuff. Ever since this happened, I have been having a bit more trouble than usual sleeping. And, I mean, even a bit more trouble than I was having before I found the ASMR community. And before I found out about ASMR whisperers and all that, I was only getting 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night, really. My depression ended up making my insomnia pretty bad, and I never really ended up getting a whole lot of sleep. And then I was starting to end up getting more sleep, and then everything that's happened has kind of put it at an all-time low. I sometimes have issues with sort of reliving what happened in my head, and I just really talking about it, which is why, as you guys can see, I'm being pretty ambiguous, as well as for the fact that I don't think it would really be that relaxing to hear about. I mean, it probably isn't already, but I mean, this is better than the alternative. I mean, it certainly would not be very relaxing if I went into all the details. Thankfully, it wasn't like a life or death situation or anything, but it was terrifying for me, and I have been having a hard time moving past it. It has definitely been interfering with my daily life, making it extremely difficult to sleep. Even making me avoid things. There are certain, like, even whispers that I can't listen to. Well, I wasn't able to because they would just remind me of what happened a bit too much. I am getting this under control, though, and am probably going to get therapy to take care of all this. So, of cats are very sweet. There's Lainey. She is extremely sweet. She's just a little love bug, except she will need you so hard. She will need your arm. She will need your face. She will need you very, very hard. And it's not the most pleasant experience. Then there's Lola, or Fat Kitty as we usually tend to call her. She's a bit larger, also very fluffy on top of that. So she's just this very big cat. And she has these beautiful bluish greenish, very bright eyes. And they are very pretty. And she does not like to be held, but she will just let you pet her. And she likes it when you pet her and stuff. And she will lay on her side and just let you rub her belly and stuff. She's very sweet. And then the other cat is Macy. I like to consider Macy my arch nemesis of sorts. I've met her before I moved in here. She is a cat that my sister has had for a few years now. And on Christmas, one year I got to meet her, and she was just a kitten then. And let's just say kittens are very playful. She ate my headphones. Well, that's more recently. Just the other day, she ate my headphones. Well, got at them, and now they only work in one ear. I just replaced those, mostly so I could hear binaural recordings and stuff. And then she wrecks them. But back on when I met her before, on Christmas and stuff, she would attack my hair. For those of you who don't know, which I'm sure is most of you, I have bright red, although I'm pretty sure cats are colorblind, but I have red ringlets. I have curly hair, and they often turn out in ringlets. And Macy, the cat, would like to attack them. Yeah, she actually ripped a bunch of my hair out of my head that year. So, ever since then, I have declared her my nemesis. She and I will have little staring contests practically. And we will just stare at each other until one of us cracks and walks away. I swear that cat specifically targeted my headphones out of all of the things she could destroy. She purposefully went after my headphones, I swear. Really, that cat is evil. Okay, I hate to say this, it might sound disrespectful, but she even has a Hitler mustache. That cat has a little patch of black fur that looks just like a Hitler mustache. And the rest of her markings kind of look like Hitler's hair. So, like I was saying, she's evil. She is a very, very evil little cat. It's funny, I think I end up talking much more allows me to give you guys a more pleasant experience. I mean, banning can be nice, but there's nothing quite like the real thing, you know? And this is probably closer to the real thing than banning, so, and I'm sorry about any microphone noises. That would be, if my lips accidentally touch the mic, because I'm using a built-in mic on my computer, and the quality, it's not that great at picking up sound, so I have to get very close in order for you guys to hear it very well. And sometimes I accidentally touch my lips or something to it. I hope that you guys can't hear any background noise, like my brother in the background. Yeah, I also have a brother who's living here. It's a long story, but, yeah. I guess I'll go ahead and, oh, Grace, I forgot about my other dog again. Grace is probably my favorite pet that I have, which might seem hard to believe considering I forgot her twice, but she is. Grace is just the sweetest little thing ever. Well, she's hardly little. She's a very big dog. I think she's like a black lab or something to that effect. And she's very lazy. She doesn't like to do a lot. She's more calm like me. I tend to be the more calm type. I generally prefer calm dogs that will just lay there with me and cuddle, as opposed to the kind of dog that always wants to play or walk. Sometimes I just like to relax, and Grace likes to relax too. She will just flop over in your arms or on your lap and cuddle with you. She's kind of heavy, so that can sometimes be a bit uncomfortable, but not unwelcome. She's a very, sorry, my mouth is dry, but she's a very affectionate dog, and she makes a great blanket or a great pillow. She's a great dog too. Sometimes when I need a bit of a pick-me-up, I will just hug Grace. It sounds silly, but hugs are. If I wanted to, I could name at least 10 reasons why hugs are good for you. More often with people, but you know, people, dogs, same diff. So, those are all my pets. This morning, I went ahead and made some hot chocolate. I had a rough night last night where there was a lot of, how to put this, a lot of crying involved, and I wasn't doing very good last night, so I figured since chocolate is a natural antidepressant, I would have myself a little pick-me-up to make my mood kids who doesn't love hot chocolate? Might not always be the best for you, but given that most days, I should really eat healthier. Most days I end up skipping at least one meal. Usually breakfast, sometimes lunch, sometimes both. Even once in a while, I don't end up eating dinner. This is because of reasons of both being sometimes just not having much of an appetite, or I have some problems where it hurts to swallow. Not like in my throat or anything like that, but more like, it feels like it's coming from my back. But when I pay attention to it, I notice that it was coming from my chest, or my heart actually, which is a little worrying. And I haven't gone in to see a doctor about it yet, but I will, eventually. I have talked to a friend of mine about it. This friend who happens to be a med student. So, at least I know a bit about it. It's better than not knowing anything, I guess. So, that's why I don't end up really eating as much as I probably should. I end up only taking in about maybe 300, 400 calories a day, and that's it, which, as you know, is not that much. So, I've been actually losing weight lately, which is kind of obvious. Oh, and I just thought I'd mention, some days I do take in like 800 or closer to enough calories, or sometimes even enough. Like, it's not like I couldn't eat if I wanted to, and I do try to eat. It's just not a very pleasant experience for me. So I try to avoid drinking things other than water. Even water hurts, but not as much as other things. And, I don't know. I'm starting to just, yammer, but I hope that you've had ample time to fall asleep, and I'll keep going for a while longer now. I need to think of something to say. Well, for those of you that don't know, which I'm sure is most of you, unless you knew me prior to me becoming a whisperer, or you've talked to me since then, I am an artist. That has been my passion since I was very, very little. To be honest, I think it must have been a fluke or something. But there is a story sort of passed down through my family about when I was 3 years old. I can still sort of actually remember the picture, but that's because I've seen it since then. But anyway, I was drawing a picture. Yes, I was an artist even then. At about 3 years old. With like trees and a nest and eggs and birdies and a great big colorful sky. Okay, it wasn't really colorful, but it was bright blue. Because skies are bright blue. Kid logic. And supposedly, as the story goes, I drew a shadow on the egg. To be honest, at 3, I don't really believe that it was done intentionally. I mean, I could have done it on accident, but, well, I made the same mistake that many, 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 many beginner artists do. I did the shadow with gray instead of blue. Yeah. Okay, some of you are probably like, but isn't gray the correct color to an egg with? I mean, an egg's white, but no, 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 no. Not gray. Here's a little tip for those of you who are interested in drawing. If you want to go for more realistic feel, I mean, you can have whatever feel you want. That's the great thing about art. You can just do whatever you want. But for a more realistic feel, it's best to, especially if the setting is outside, go with a bluish tint for any shadows that you do. Don't ask me why, I'm not good at explaining. But yeah, I am an artist. And I was drawing since I was very little. 3-ish, I think, and then I kind of quit there for a while, and then I got back into drawing when I was in 4th grade, which, for those of you who don't live here in America, or live somewhere where it's not called that or whatever, I don't know what to call it, or I don't know, but I was about 9, I think, when I started drawing again. And then when I was in my first year of middle school or junior high, as in 6th grade, that's when I started to take it seriously, and I realized just how much I loved to draw, and I sort of realized that it was sort of my calling of sorts. I always had more talent at it than others my age, and I always enjoyed it more than everyone else. I could just draw for hours and hours and hours. I have actually sat there for a good 8 hours straight just drawing before, which some people would say is outrageous, but I think some artists do that a lot, others don't, but I try to take breaks, give my creativity a rest, otherwise I tend to get lazy or run out of creativity or something or other, and it doesn't come out as good. So that's another little pro artist secret. Take breaks every once in a while. Getting lazy is not a good thing. Your art never comes out as good. Let me see what else. An interesting fact is that artists are actually more likely to have depression musicians, people that generally work in the fields, in the creative fields. Like, I can think of a lot of people, and I don't know, I just tend to notice that they generally tend to be very creative-minded people. I think that goes along well with the fact that people like us, like the ones that make videos, are sometimes called whisperers, but other times called, especially if they do videos that aren't whispering, or if they don't do whispering at all, ASM artists. I find that fits in very well with the fact that I find that a lot of those of us are artists. And it's not just the ones that make videos. I know 2 friends for sure that I know get it, which I was very excited when I found out about both. And one of them I actually met because of ASMR, but I won't bore you guys with that. But both of them are artists of some type. One of them draws a lot like me, not at a professional level, not for a living, but he draws. And the other is a violin player and also a little bit of a pianist, or a pianist if you prefer. So they both definitely fit into that creative arts category, which always intrigued me. Like, I seriously have noticed a lot of us that do creative-y stuffs, like Silent Citadel and her masky thingies, which are awesome, by the way. You should check her out. And no, like that. I'm very awkward, sorry. And Kiwi Whispers, he's a pianist. And me, I'm an artist. Kato ASMR, another artist. I'm kind of seeing a trend with a lot of whispers. I mean, there are people that aren't sure, but I've noticed an awful lot that are more creative, artsy people. You know? I don't know, I just thought I'd share that. With my luck, that's gonna be something that the whole community has known for a long time. And I just am late to the party, as usual. Well, that's kind of me. That's just who I am. Not always the first person to catch on to things. Oh well. Well, it's been about 40 minutes, so I am hoping that you guys are probably fast asleep by now. I like to do longer videos just to make sure that everyone has plenty of time to get to sleep if that's what they're looking forward. And otherwise, been seeing him just about every day, and he didn't say anything when he left. He just sort of disappeared, and then I haven't seen him since. He is on YouTube, but he is not a whisperer. I've been trying to talk him into it, but I don't know. But his YouTube otherwise is Transodema, or TRANCESODAMA. Transodema. I feel like I'm at a spelling bee or something. I am really starting to ramble now, aren't I? It's been about 45 minutes, so I should be okay to finish this video up pretty soon before I start becoming even more awkward. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. My next video will probably be shorter than this, but I have had a fair amount of time to record today, so yeah. Enjoy, and good night. Good night, everybody. Good night. Sweet dreams if you're off to sleep now, or if you've already slept, I hope that you're sleeping soundly. As always, if you guys would like to leave me any feedback about how I could do better in the future, that is always, always, always appreciated. I really want to make my videos as good as I possibly can, because I want to help the most people and make my videos as enjoyable as possible. I have actually recently gotten more subscribers than I was expecting, more feedback on my first video than I was expecting, and in general you guys have responded in a way that surprised me, and that was a very pleasant surprise. I am glad that you guys like me enough to leave feedback to help me improve, and to subscribe and stick around for more. It means a lot to me. Before I go, I wanted to say sorry if I've awkwardly messaged anyone or said anything awkward in the past week or anything. It's been stressful, and my head is not always working properly. I've had a lot of things to worry about, and sometimes I say things I don't mean to say. And I have been worrying about a message that I sent to a whisperer that I really admire. I'm not going to say who it is, because maybe I said some things I shouldn't have, like nothing awkward, like I want to marry you or anything, but I feel like I sounded grateful to the point of being creepy. Maybe mentioned too much about what's been going on with me lately, and I am really worried that this person feels awkward now or something. I definitely did not mean to make them feel that way. I am embarrassed already, and I haven't gotten a response, which is fairly normal for this person, but I am worrying a bit about it. So, I hope that you are sleeping well. So, good night. Sweet dreams. Good night. Good night. If you're about to go to bed, or if you are already asleep, then I hope that you are sleeping well. Good